Hi, Devasha. How are you?
Hi, Sid. I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm great, eh? I'm so happy to have this chat with you. So, the first question on my
Likewise.
agenda was like, what actually inspired you to get into singing and eventually become a vocal coach?
Well, for me, I've always been naturally gifted. Ever since I was a little girl, I was that crazy kid running around in the garden singing Mariah Carey and, just loved singing. It was like for the pure enjoyment that I could feel when I would sing. So I would say that was the initial thing that really inspired me. And then, as years went on, my vocal gift just always came out in different scenarios I was in. So church played a really big role. I would always call to the front in school. The same thing at church, always getting called to the front. It was like my gift sort of opened up these doors and these channels for me. So at church, I would do like a lot of teaching and training, helping people, in the worship team when we would go in for like our anyone that's at church in the worship team, you have certain days that are like your practice days and you go in for band track and so your practice songs, get them ready for your Sunday service. And, you know, in the meantime, you're having fun. You're also singing, you're playing around with instruments and that kind of thing. So I was already doing a lot of this work at that time, but just not doing it professionally, not like getting paid for it, but
Hmm.
I could see that I was gifted from that. And, various people also coming to me and telling me stuff about my voice and how much I've also helped them with their vocals. So all of these things, really inspired me. And then eventually fast forward to now, like getting onto YouTube. This way I'm able to reach a global audience. So
Hmm.
how's that for inspiration? I mean, that's even more getting to share this gift that I have with a global audience.
What have been your highs on this journey of singing and being a vocal coach?
Well, I would say collaboration for one. That definitely gives you a high if you've been around friends, and you're making music together. Our band practices were, something out of this world. I don't even have words to describe the kind of joy that you get filled with when you are collaborating with others. Whether it's on a big scale, small scale, it's just it gives you all the fuzzies if you're a music lover like me. So I would say that was one of, if I could talk about highs, getting to collaborate with people, whether it was people ordinary people at church or just some of my students. And then like recently I've done a collaboration with Dan Faber from Dan Faber Vocal Studio. So that was like one of the bigger ones, on YouTube. And that was most definitely a high. That was such an awesome conversation that we had. I'm going to be sharing that on YouTube soon. But yeah,
Okay.
I would say that would be one of my highs. And then also, on a daily, getting to work with students. So these are like, the ordinary sort of mundane things. I'll get like, for example, a student coming and telling me, I had asthma. I was really asthmatic. And after coming to you for vocal training and doing some of these exercises, a few months later, I no longer need my asthma pump. Like that is huge. I had another student who's in his 60s tell me he has had such better memory. His concentration, his focus has improved so much in his 60s from, coming for vocal training, doing all the exercises that I make my students do. So things like that, it just warms my heart and it really gives you a high to feel like, what, this is so fulfilling. I'm actually helping people and I'm like changing lives. It doesn't get better than that.
What have been like the lows so far for you being in this type of industry?
Well, I think, when it comes to lows, it's something that most people, pretty much everyone goes through in the beginning where, you're a
Hmm.
bit self-conscious, and having to deal with people, like the negativity. as it is starting out, especially if you're going to be like going on stage or like singing in front of people. Because I had to do
Mm.
like performances, and like every Sunday service was pretty much a performance when you've got this
Okay.
huge crowd, even though it's everyone singing together, but still you are like leading that worship, leading the music. You're going to have a bit of nerves. So that can be a bit difficult. But then, on top of that, having like people's negativity and hearing comments and stuff, I think can really discourage people and bring you down. So you have to develop a tough skin almost,
Mm. Mm.
Like I'll give you an example. This one time I had a lovely Sunday service, and like everyone was so happy with the way I sang and how I led the worship and all of that. And then I get this lady from the congregation come up to me after the service, and she's like, you know what, you sang really nice, but like you just need to lose some weight. Like, you just need to you look good, but like you need to drop a few more pounds, like keep on with your exercises and keep on doing your Taibo and all of that, and just you look better if you like lose a bit of weight. So
Oh my
that's an
gosh.
example, I'm like, I'm here and it's supposed to be about worshiping God. Okay. I mean, this is
Yeah.
church we're talking about. It's not even performances like out there on a stage or something. And like, I'm thinking, why are you so fixated on me? Why are you so worried about what I'm wearing, my hair, makeup, clothes, and my weight? Aren't you supposed to be singing to God? Like, what's up with that? So that's an example of something that could really bring you down. You have
Mm.
to choose your thoughts wisely, and you've got to choose to like, okay, I'm not going to listen to that. Like, like thank you, but I'm not going to listen to that because yeah, ultimately it's just the why are you doing what you're doing? It's for a purpose. It's because it brings you joy or whatever your music brings to you. So it's not about other people's opinions. But that's a difficult thing, to really get a grasp on. It's taken me years to develop that thick skin where I don't let people's comments and stuff like that get to me. So yeah, it has been a journey, but you could say those are like examples of some of the lows.
Mm. So, who are your musical inspirational that you actually look up to? Who are the people that you look up to in terms of singing and etc.?
Okay, well, when it comes to specifically what I do, like on YouTube, um, I look up to like the bigger channels teaching vocals and, besides actual singing, but the actual training part of it, seeing how big their channels have grown, that's like an inspiration to me, seeing that you have the potential to reach this big an audience. I'm talking like over 100,000 to a couple million subs,
Mm.
that it shows you the potential and like what you can do with YouTube using it as a tool. So that really inspires me with those like bigger channels. As far as like actual singers kind of inspiration, um, when it comes to that, like performance wise, I'm a huge Britney Lady Gaga fan. I think
Okay.
they really have the ability to captivate the audience. If you see
Mm.
them on stage, I mean, it's
Mm.
like you're almost in a trance kind of
Mm.
thing because you're so captivated and you're so in the moment. So I think that's a great mark of a performer. When it comes to voices and vocals, I mean, I grew up singing the Mariah Carey, Whitney Houston, so
Wow.
I can call them the great ones because if you
Mm.
listen, I mean, anyone can just listen to their voices and you can
Mm.
hear how naturally gifted they are. Yes, they've had editing, yes, they've had vocal training and whatever, but just their natural, raw talent, their natural voices, you can hear how they're able to carry their notes, how they're able to sing, how they're able to inspire and also evoke like emotion in people. When
Mm.
you hear their songs, it like brings up emotion in you. So I think those are, two of my favorites that I look up to would be Whitney Houston and Mariah Carey. Absolutely love, love, love their voices. And, when it comes to different genres, people are always surprised to hear that I'm a vocal trainer, but my two favorite genres are EDM and classical. So I'm talking
Nice.
about like hardcore EDM and like Beethoven, Tchaikovsky, you know.
Wow.
And the reason is because of, what it does to the brain, what it does to your heartbeats, even. It has a physiological effect on the body. And like with EDM, I'd say one of my favorite DJs is Alesso. If you see again how he's able to captivate the crowd, how he's able to, almost pull people into the music that he is playing, you in some different world. And I love that music has the power to take you to that. So those are a few, just to name a few of my sort of musical inspirations.
Okay, final question will be any word of inspiration for upcoming artists?
Well, you hear that cliche, never give up. So I'd like to like elaborate on that cliche because I think it's much easier said than done. Um, the life is tough, and when it comes to following your dreams, it's very easy to give up because of, the negativity and, maybe people not being supportive of what you're doing and stuff. So I would not just say not give up, but really put in the work because nobody sees what goes behind the scenes. Like you might see someone on stage and think, wow, oh, they're so successful, look at their singing career or whatever they're doing, but you don't know the hours of hard work, the days and weeks and months that they have put in behind the scenes. So while we can say never give up, also remember that these people that you're seeing that you might idolize, they have put in the work. you know Never giving up means keeping on while things are tough, and you might get backlash, or you might get someone think that what you're doing is just totally dumb, or whatever. It's important to keep on pressing on in those times. So that's the one thing. Dreams never come easy for anyone. We all have to work at what we want. And then another thing I would say that's important uh, for aspiring singers, or anyone even in the music industry, is networking. So if you're in this kind of business, you'll know that it's not just what you know, but it's also who you know. So I encourage students to like network, even if you're getting on a few like Facebook pages, joining different groups, people that have similar interests. You need to kind of put yourself out there. And if you get a few rejections, don't, just give up on that. You have to keep on putting yourself out there and push yourself out of that comfort zone. So networking is a big one. I mean, YouTube, also an excellent source of information. So if you go on there, whether you're into songwriting, maybe you want to do vocal training, maybe, whatever it is, YouTube is, I found, such a nice source of information and the tools that you can learn from there, and it's free, so it's something like anyone can access. And that's also a nice platform for networking. I mean, even on my channel as well, I've always encouraged students, here you can meet other like-minded individuals and you can network. And, you never know, someone might say they want to hear your demo tape, or they want to, feature you on the radio. You never know where you'll get that little lucky break unless you're going to network with people. And then lastly, I advise, don't forget the fun. Like even when students would come in, I would tell them that, performance is not the only thing that matters. It's very much about having the fun and your progress. So it becomes easy to kind of forget that when you are trying to get something 100%. Maybe you're working on a song or whatever, or a performance, and it takes time to get there. It can get frustrating. You can lose your patience. And I find, what is the common thread that helps people to keep on going on their singing journey is to really embrace the fun and not forget about that part. maybe if you're getting a bit too serious about things, you're actually lacking the fun and you need to
Mm,
bring some fun back. Like for me, as much as I love teaching and helping students and making videos for YouTube and all of that, I remember that I still need to sing in the shower. I still need to enjoy the sound of my voice,
mm,
you know.
mm,
I still need
mm.
to remember that little girl I was singing, dancing around in my garden growing up, and how much of joy that brought me. That is the kind of thing that will carry you through those difficult moments.
Thanks so much for actually giving me your time, eh?
It's been a pleasure, such a pleasure.